Hi guys, I hope you're doing great. So I've been an iPad owner for 3 months now and it revolutionized the way I learn and study. So I wanted to show you guys how I take aesthetic notes to help me study more efficiently. So let's start with the basic specs of my iPad. I have an iPad Pro with a 12.9-inch screen. My screen protector is from Paperlike, and I seriously recommend if you find your pen gliding too much or if you want to write in a neater way. First app I use is called iFont for all things font, you guessed it. It holds different sites and I mainly use fonts from the site The Font. They have an immense variety. Once I found a font I like, I simply follow the steps they show me and it adds it to my font list. These are other apps that I use regularly for school. So there's the school apps, there's the Microsoft everything basically. I use Anki app or Anki for flashcards, and Notability is a note-taking app that a lot of people use, but I prefer using Goodnotes. So I have folders within folders. Each class has one and each chapter has a section. I switch color for every chapter, but I'm starting to get a list of my favorite colors. But then again, it really just depends on the mood. So let's jump right into it. So this is an example of notes that have every element I use to create an aesthetic look, and I'll break it down for you. So as I said, I use color for each subject and I stay in that color scheme for the entirety of the note-taking. I use the same font for titles, which creates a sense of uniformity within the notes. I always highlight the titles as well. I like to play with each sides of the paper equally so that it's more eye-catching. So if I write something on the right, I will write something on the left right after. How many times did I say right? If there's a number or a certain number of elements I have to remember, I'll bring it up to my attention by writing a big number and bulleting the elements right next to it. The important elements are written in all caps or in bolder letters, and important images are imported from the original notes. So you should feel special right now because I'm studying ahead for my class just for you guys, but it's fine because I love you guys. So basically we're gonna import the notes in Goodnotes and start a new folder for my final exam, then create a new notepad for the subject, which is Cox Analysis of Survival Data. Okay, so I'm gonna put you on something for beautiful titles with no effort, really. Write your title and then choose your font from your personalized font list, thanks to iFont. Overlaps 2 titles and let the one behind in black, but the one in the front will take the main color of this chapter. And then you can have fun with it and add white, hearts, flowers, stars, whatever you like. But this has saved me so much time and it's always so pretty, you guys. seems like I'm pressing so hard on my iPad, but I swear I am not. I think it's because I was on my bed, and you know, beds are beds, so it seems like I'm very pressing super hard, but I love my iPad. I couldn't do that to my baby. So what I usually do is I always search for the planning of the course or the objectives, and I just copy paste them, and these are going to be my kind of guides for the note taking, because they tell me exactly what I have to study, and it always helps. I never had a problem with catching what is important about the subject because I do that. So I'm going to take the first bullet point and write it in my default font that I've pre-chosen, and then I'm going to highlight it with the highlighter with the same color scheme that I've talked about, and then I will be ready to start taking notes for that section. I usually read the original page fully before taking any notes because I want to understand what's important to remember. Here I see there are two main bullet points with their explanations, so I'm going to dissect them into two important elements and add the bullet points on the side. And if I want to get into more details that I feel that are important, I will write them in red in parentheses under the main element. This is me realizing that there were actually 3 bullet points instead of 2. So I use a lasso to move anything and everything that I want and resize. So this is the biggest tip that I could tell you, is to use a lasso. It will save you time and energy. If I want to pop out some words, I usually highlight them like so, or I can do something else, which is highlight them but like with a shape, an actual shape. And this is a rectangle for you. You don't have to do it perfectly, it will fix it for you, so that is great. And I usually take off the outline, so I just keep the highlighted section. now this is me fixing things here and there. As you can see, I played with both sides of my paper, left and right. I'm adjusting a little bit to, even out the sides, and I decided to highlight those words with my little technique as I showed you in the beginning. And yeah, so this is basically what I do for the rest of my notes, and I'm gonna show you other stuff that I do, other techniques that I use. So if you're in uni, you know that you can't go to your notes and read every single word in those notes because you have 1,000 of them. So what I do is I screenshot the pictures and the notions that are important, and then I just literally paste them in my notes, and then I highlight them with the shape tool, and then I connect the image with what it's referring to. So now I'm gonna highlight two elements with the big number method that I just talked to you about. So there are two utilities to a certain thing. So I'm gonna write deux utilités, and then I'm going to name the two utilities. I'm going to point them out in a more simplified way. You're basically tricking your brain into thinking that it's less words to remember, but it actually is in a way, but it actually isn't. It just helps you remember fewer words, but then when you remember those fewer words, you can actually remember the full sentence. So it's just step-by-step learning, and it's really helpful to me. Also, when we go over something that I know that I've already embedded in my soul, I usually highlight it and write just above it that it's just a reminder that it won't really be in the exam. It's just for me to remember and to know that this is the base of what we're going to learn. Here's another example of a section called rappel, which is just reminder. And yeah. So for the math problems, what I usually do is that I simply screenshot and crop every question, and I write the answers right under them. It helps me keep track of everything and dissect every question on its own. And here's an example of that. It's one of my statistics class. So I do these exercises, and when I get the right answer, I highlight the answer so that I can get back to it when I try it again. Here are other examples of the previous notes I have already taken. You can see that they've gotten better over time. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just have fun and you'll find your groove and have one day beautiful and aesthetically pleasing notes. But that was it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.